All right, so for these next examples, 4, 5, 6, and 7, notice there is two fractions over here on the left of my equal signs. I've got the 4/3 and I've got the 7/n. So there's two fractions. So this one, we're not going to be able to solve the same method. You can't do the cross multiplication this method. So we're going to look at this second method. Let's scroll back up here. Whoops. So the second method here says we're going to multiply each side. I'm just going to basically tell you, you want to multiply every term in the equation by the least common denominator. Now this should look very familiar to you. Least common denominator was what we worked with a lot last unit. Okay, so hopefully you're getting pretty good at finding what our least common denominator is. Basically, it's the smallest number, but it's not really a small number. It's the smallest number that you can divide by all your denominators. Okay, so I need a number that I can divide by 3, divide by n, and divide by 6. And when I say number, that's probably misleading because n, you need a term, you need some variables. So when you look right here, if I were to choose 3, that would wipe out this 3, but you can't divide 3 by n or by 6. So I'm going to need at least an n in there. And I'm going to say 6. If I choose 6n as my least common denominator, that divides by 3, because 6 divides by 3, n divides by n, and 6 divides by 6. So I can wipe out all those denominators by multiplying both sides of my equation. So basically what I'm doing is I'm multiplying these both by 6n. Notice it's in the numerator. You don't want to, it's just 6n over 1. When we multiply fractions, you just multiply this by the numerator. Now, I'm actually going to come back here and tell you, I don't write it like this. When I say both sides of the equation, I'm going to distribute it. You do have to put it to every term. So I'm going to multiply this by my 6n, the 4 by 6n, 7 by 6n, and the 1 by 6n. Multiply them all by that 6n. And now we go ahead and simplify. Basically, we're going to lose all of our denominators. That's what we're trying to do here. So I do my division first. I look and say, oh, remember, I can divide 6 by 3. That's why I chose 6. What is 6 divided by 3? Well, it is 2. So that turned into a 2 right there. So I now really have a 4 times 2 times n. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times n gives me an 8n right there. All right, now we're going to look at the second term. Notice, watch the operation. It's a subtract. I'm going to write that down before I forget. The n divides with the n right here, so I just have 7 times 6. Well, 7 times 6 is 42, so we'll write that down. Okay, next we come to our equal sign. There's our equation symbol right there, equal sign. And then over here, the 6 divides by 6, so I just am left with the 1 times n, which is just n. Okay, look, this is exactly what I wanted. No denominators. It's an easy one to solve here. All I'm going to do, let's subtract 8n from both sides. We're going to get n's together on just one side. So I have a negative 42 is equal to, well, 1n subtract 8n is 7n, negative 7n. There we go. And then we're just going to divide by that negative 7 because I want to know what 1n is. And that'll give me 1n is equal to positive 6 right there. Before you circle it, just look up here. I circled it already, I know. But you're just looking up here to see anytime you plug in 6 for n, does that make your 0 go to, or your denominator go to 0? Nope. So you're good. Go ahead and circle that. All right, let's look at example 5 right here. I'm looking for my least common denominator. I know I need a k to wipe out those k's. I'm also going to need to multiply it by 2. Then I can get rid of all 3 of those denominators. Let's actually do a different color. Let's try purple. Okay, so we're going to multiply every term here by 2k. 2k and 2k. And then just go ahead and simplify it. So the k divides with the k. I've got 3 times 2 or 6. The 2 divides with the 2 right here. Oh, watch out here too. That's going to trick us. So it's a subtract. And then I've got 1 times k, or just k. That is equal to, the k's divide out here, 12 times 2, which is 24. And again, we now got a lovely linear equation. That means that I just have n to the first power or k to the first power. These are our favorite ones to solve. They're not too bad. We just get k by itself. So let's subtract 6 from both sides. So that's just gone. Got a negative k. Don't forget that negative. That is equal to 18. 24 minus 6 is 18. We do have to undo that negative, where it's really like 0 subtract k or negative 1 multiplied to k. So if I divide by a negative 1, that goes ahead and turns that to a positive 1k, and this gives me a negative 18. Again, just double check, negative 18 is not 0, so we're good to circle that answer. Let's stop here and we'll do the last two examples in their own video.